all are welcome. Oh, it's so good to be back in the Ville, in UU, in Fayetteville community. Welcome all. Come on in. Center yourselves and be here in this space. Today we're going to be talking about back to school. So I have an original song to bring to you about the subject. This is a song about kids learning in a free and easy way. And it tells the story of Anne Brown, who started her own kindergarten school right here in Fayetteville back in the 1950s. And her approach to teaching was the front schoolyard had a fire truck in it as part of the playground. And the kids loved it. It was a free and easy way to learn. So this is called It's What We Do. Oh, and there's a sing-along. So I'm going to sing this chorus. And then when I give you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll sing. All right. So I'm going to sing it first, and then come on in with me, and then I'll tell the story, and then we'll come back. Every time you hear 1, 2, 3, 4, this is your lesson. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if kids could learn the way they want to, instead of telling them the way they have to do? What if kids could learn the way they want to, try to create and explore, to learn the things they want to do? 1, 2, 3, go. What if kids could learn the way they want to, instead of telling them the way they have to do? What if kids could learn the way they want to, try to create and explore, to learn the things they want to do? Awesome. For generations, our education has been based on our memory, measured by a set of standards and imposed by authority. But what it needs is a lot more creativity. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if kids can learn the way they want to, instead of telling them the way they have to do? What if kids can learn the way they want to, try to create and explore, to learn the things they want to do? There was a woman named Marjorie Ann Brown. She started her own school. She believed in helping others, the poor and the elderly too. She reminds us it's not what we know, but what we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if kids could learn the way they want to, instead of telling them the way they have to do? What if kids could learn the way they want to, try to create and explore, to learn the things they want to do? In a world of innovation, we need a new philosophy. Collaborators and earth caretakers who mobilize community. No debt, no test, no grades, just learning free and easily. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if kids can learn the way they want to, instead of telling them the way they have to do? What if kids can learn the way they want to, try to create and explore, to learn the things they want to do? Learn the things they want to do. Learn the things they want to do. Not what we know, but what we do. But what we do. Thanks for singing. Welcome, Melly.
Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Melly, and I am on your board of directors and serve happily also with the Chalice team. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections, connections to each other, to all life, and to the precious universe of which we are a part. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in community, and we welcome you, whoever you are, at this moment and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those of you joining us online, welcome. If you're new, please check the website, ufayetteville.org, for more information and to sign up to receive the weekly email. If you're new in person here today, in the seat back in front of you is a white card. That's our visitor information card. If you didn't get one on the way in, you can go ahead and fill that out and get it back to us. And that way we can get you on the email list too and keep you informed of everything that's happening here. Later in our service, we'll have a time where you're invited to come and drop a stone symbolizing joys or concerns in our bowl of water. If you have a joy or concern you'd like to share, we invite you to fill out one of the yellow cards in front of you. Can somebody hold one of those up? Carol's got one. Woo! Yay, they look like that. You don't have to wait until then to start filling it out, just, so you know. There's a place to indicate also if you want your concern to be shared or if you want it to be held confidential and private only to our ministers and people on those teams that are pertinent to your situation. If you're online, you can also share joys and concerns, but because it's Facebook, we really can't keep those private, so keep that in mind if you decide to share joys and concerns there. If you have need for hearing assistance, our AV Tech David can help you with that. Children are always welcome in our services. Today's kind of child-centric, but children are always welcome. And we do have a staff nursery downstairs if you decide that maybe it's a little bit too much. Please remember to silence your cell phones as we enter into our service. And I am so glad you are here with us today.
Thank you, Melly. I'd like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We recognize the indigenous history of our region and the ground on which UUFF stands. We acknowledge that our fellowship is on the unceded lands of the Osage, Cherokee, Caddo, and Quapaw nations, who owned and cared for this land until white settlers drove them out. Greetings, beloveds. My name's Reverend Renee Jansky, and I have been looking forward to this service for a long time. Melly and I have been talking about doing a blessing of the backpacks for 2 or 3 years now, and I'm so grateful that we're here together today, acknowledging this important moment of going back to school or going back to work. You deserve recognition of the journey of the academic year you are about to embark upon. You deserve acknowledgement that it is all the things at once, new and exciting, anxiety-producing, challenging, making butterflies in our stomach, and you are up for the challenge, no doubt. Many of us brought bags here today. Lots of different types of bags. I brought my backpack. It's our symbolic backpack today. Be it real or be it metaphor, is there something in your backpack that you've brought into this sanctuary today that is weighing you down? Is there? Can we take it out and set it aside for an hour? Let's set it down. Are you carrying something that's keeping you distracted or caught up in a pattern of shame or guilt or fear? Can we take that out of our backpacks for a minute and just set that aside? Let's just leave it behind for this hour. If you need to come back to it, it will be there when we're done, but for this hour, let's just let it go. Maybe your bag is empty or mostly empty. and you are seeking something wonderful to take home. Well, I think we've got it. Come into this place with open hearts. Come into this place with a spirit that remembers its natural tenderness. Come into this place with a renewed hope, both for yourself and for the rest of us. Come into this place ready to build that world we've always been worthy of and have always dreamed of. Gabe and Maddie, will you light our chalice today?
Please join me in lighting this chalice. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together.
Please rise if you are willing and able. This is one of our UU favorites. Here we go. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Let's do it again. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Nice harm.
Morning, everybody. So glad to be back. We've been away for a couple of weeks, and it's just like coming home. And I love that song, Jory, that you picked, because roots hold me close and wings set me free is pretty much the best prayer ever to me going into a new school year for kids and staff alike. Tressa, I added some slides late last night. Probably should have told you that. So usually during this time, I read a great book. And this time, we're going to go over some really important laws that have been passed. These are not proposed laws. These are not laws that are being discussed. These have actually been passed in our state and are now in effect, that really, really affect the state of public schools in your community, in my community, in our community. So this story is called Education Laws of Concern. This is not a happy story. And so I put my commentary, my color commentary in parentheses, so you know it's not really factual, it's just my opinion. Act 424. There's like 5 of these I think that we're going to go over, and then I thought we would talk about how you can help. So Act 424 does away with school board zones. And so this would mean, like, usually, for example, in the city of Fayetteville, you have like this section of Fayetteville has a seat, and this section of Fayetteville has a seat. So we've done away with that. And you're probably thinking that is problematic, and it really is. All seats are considered at large, and so what this does is eliminates fair representation in school board elections and really just maintains the status quo of, you know, older white dudes on the school board, if I could be honest. Or maybe some older white women if it's, you know, a more evolved city. Act 511, public schools cannot require staff to take implicit bias training. So they can't require it. They're not allowed to require it. School districts cannot require this. And the state Board of Education cannot require this implicit bias training for teacher licensure or professional development. And again, color commentary in parentheses. Research in Arkansas and across our country shows children of color are punished far more frequently and harshly for the same behaviors as their white classmates. I see this firsthand in my work as a public school counselor. In lots of different schools. Students with disabilities are 5 times more likely to be spanked, which, by the way, is still legal in the state of Arkansas, as students without. And again, and in my work as a school counselor, I've heard lots of school staff say, that kid just needs a whooping. So, Act 317 requires students, requires them to use bathrooms or locker rooms based on their sex assigned at birth. So I want you to imagine a trans high school female being required to go into a boys' restroom. And talk to my kids. Restrooms in middle school and up are kind of scary anyway. So, yeah. And again, color commentary, LGBTQIA+ youth are at a higher risk of suicidality because of how they are mistreated and stigmatized in our society. And I think those two things go together. Okay. Act 372 allows certain books to be banned in public libraries and schools. Boo. Would allow criminal charges to be brought against librarians. Now, those are the ones we need to put behind bars, right? Our librarians. The worst of us, who loan minors books determined to be obscene. And you might be wondering, well, who decides if a book is obscene? There is a movement to do away with public library boards and replace those with something else. Kind of scary, and it's happening in rural Arkansas. I don't anticipate it happening in Fayetteville, but right now it's our Fayetteville Library Board, I think, who makes those decisions about what should be placed in what section of the library, but there is definitely a movement to undermine those boards. Incidentally, I called Fayetteville Public Library some time ago, and I was like, what do you I talked to the people at the teen desk. I was like, what do you think about this law? And the lady was so well-spoken. She just said, well, you know, the law says that the books cannot be obscene. And currently in our teen section, we don't have any books that we would deem to be obscene. And I was like, I catch ya. And I hung up. But, I mean, I think they probably have a fight on their hands. And there are people fighting already. Incidentally, a federal judge has temporarily blocked parts of this law. So Act 372 you should be paying attention to because people are fighting it, which is great. A lot of this probably is going to play out in the courts, but the Bible being obscene. That is so funny. At my kids' public school, they passed out Bibles at lunch. Now, if any of us have read the Bible, you will know there's some pretty... So again, who decides what is obscene? Act 542 requires school staff to misgender non-binary and transgender students and staff. requires us, and prohibits staff from using their preferred name without written permission from a parent or guardian. And I've experienced this firsthand at an elementary school. I had a fifth grader ask me to refer to them by a different name and pronoun, and I proceeded to follow their request and advised the teacher to do the same, and was told, you can't do that without calling their parent. And of course, you know, the child was petrified. They were like, my parents are homophobic. Like, we can't do that. So in my office, I referred to them how they wanted to be referred to, but in the hall and in the classroom, I had to call them by their, okay? So, and that was even before this law. And it also prohibits schools from requiring staff or students to use a student or staff's personal pronoun. So prohibits this, student or staff. So if I wanted to go by a different pronoun, if the pronoun is not consistent with their individual's gender assigned at birth, even if parental consent is given. Wow. This is passed, guys. This is not up for discussion or proposed. It has passed. And it allows for a civil cause of action to be filed if a person is harmed by a violation of the bill. So again, who is really being harmed here? That's Act 542. And the biggie, the one most people know about. Act 237, the Arkansas Learns Act, overhauls Arkansas's education system and creates an unlimited voucher system through state-funded educational freedom accounts. And I'll tell you, at the end of my school year last year, I knew of one boy whose dad was going to keep him home to help on the farm. And if this goes through, the dad would get a stipend to keep the kid home and claim he was homeschooling, and the kid would be helping on the farm all day. So that's something to consider. And I had another boy who told me he has a lot of siblings, and his mom was pregnant, and dad said, we're going to homeschool him next. This was at an IEP conference. We talked about how much progress the kid had made due to just his hard work and the hard work of professionals, qualified professionals. And then the dad proceeded to say, well, next year when he goes to middle school, we're going to homeschool him. And then later that kid told me, yeah, my mom's pregnant again, and I'm going to stay home to help with the baby. And folks would get a stipend for this. So it's concerning for the state of Arkansas, for Arkansas's future. So families could use these funds to pay for private or homeschool, which some folks are like, yes, school choice, and we get funds to, supply gas to take our kids here, there. But the problem with that is I just am not sure what type of regulation the private schools are having. The separation of church and state is an issue. Are the staff qualified to provide supports, for example, for a special needs kid? There are a lot of things to consider here. And I think the people who are passing the laws are all about school choice, but what if there's no bus? What if the staff aren't qualified? Over time, this is going to really deplete our public schools. And so what you need to do is start researching states that have defunded public schools and what do things look like there. What they look like is people in this neighborhood go to this public school that doesn't get dollars, that has fewer staff, fewer materials, less support. So the po folks are over here, and then the people over here who can afford to drive, they get the good schools. So it's just further separating the haves from the have-nots. And the Learns Act is confusing. People were like, I don't know if I want to sign this petition against the Learns Act because there's some good things in here. Raises for teachers, for example. They were very smart how they pushed this bill through. Very smart. Little bit of sugar, and people are like, I don't want to vote against that. It does raise the minimum teacher salary to $50,000, the minimum, but it does little to address the average for existing teachers. And it repeals the Teacher Fair Dismissal Act. So, I could very easily get fired for talking to a kid about questioning their sexuality with no due process. And it prohibits what they're calling indoctrination, such as passing Bibles out at lunch, and the teaching of critical race theory, which we've learned about in here. We had that fabulous speaker. as well as the encouragement or discussion of gender-related issues. It's prohibited. We can't even talk about it. We can't even talk about it. And teachers are prohibited from discussing sexually explicit materials, which any parent can say, this book is sexually explicit. And it's going to be pulled. Sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation with students below 5th grade. We're prohibited from talking about it. That's the LEARNS Act. So let's all take a breath. Sorry, I warned you, this is not a happy story. If you're wondering, oh, what can I do? Please stay informed. I've come across a lot of amazing people who have no idea the assault on public schools that is happening in our state. And they're like, who cares? Guys, you should care. This is really going to affect the future of our state. An educated population benefits everybody. And so Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, if you're not familiar with them, that's where I get a lot of my information. They send out great publications and newsletters. They're really boots on the ground advocating for us. And also your local school district's website. They have to post their school board agendas, and they have to post notes. They're in there somewhere. Sometimes they're buried on the website, but feel free to call and be like, how can I get this information? And contact your representatives, please, and vote for supporters of public ed. If you're brave enough, you can even run for school board. And consider joining, donating, volunteering for an organization called CAPES. CAPES are the folks that put out that petition honestly, they were just petitioning to put the LEARNS Act to a vote by the people. That's all they wanted, was for the people to vote on this thing that's really going to affect the state. So Citizens for Arkansas Public Education and Students is what CAPE stands for, and they're still out there. They're still working. It's all still, a lot of this is still tied up in the court. It's just a matter of people bringing it to the court. So, and then one more thing you can do is check on your teacher friends. This is a really hard time to be in schools, and especially if you know anyone who's a principal or an assistant principal. Those folks get paid decent, but they have tremendous amounts of stress. I worry about those folks a lot. They don't really feel like they can talk about the stress that they're under. And I didn't even touch on our college folks, which they're going through some stuff too. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And I'm available if you have any questions after the service. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. That was hard to hear and outrageously important. With that, friends, it is time for our ritual of joys and concerns. And what we are about to do is the same thing as thousands of other UUs across the globe are doing this Sunday morning, dropping stones in water. I love that global connection, the ripples from our stones falling in our water, mingling with the ripples of other UU stones dropping in their collective waters. So if you filled out a yellow card, now is the time to bring that up and drop a stone into the water. And all are welcome to participate in the dropping of stones. You don't have to share a card. You can just drop a stone. Friends, you may come forward. Jory, will you offer us some music? in this space, we are gathered to be together today. Here we are gathered, called to be in community together, like a family, our UUFF family. Here we have gathered to remind ourselves of joys and goodness and to hold space for each other through the hard stuff. Part of our gathered space are folks that... Beloved Facebook attendees, we are so glad that you are here with us today. And we are here for you. Thank you for... Here in this space, some of us come in pain. To those who are suffering today, we hear your suffering, and we are here with you. May we pause now and take a few breaths and hold gently all the concerns, named and unnamed, that are gathered in... Pause. Melly, will you drop a handful of stones? Thank you for the unnamed sorrows today. Let's pause, take a few breaths, and hold gently all the concerns, named and unnamed, that are gathered in this room today. Beloveds, within the complexities of community, it is right that in this space, some of us come with joy bubbling in our hearts. Melly, will you drop a handful of stones for those unnamed joys today? To those who have big joys today, we hear you and we are here with you. Let's pause and take a couple of breaths, rejoicing together and remembering and understanding that wisdom that says joys are multiplied when they're shared. Here in this space, we are called to weave the web of community. Let's remember these shared joys and concerns and hold our community in our hearts this week.
The offering is a sacrament of a free church or fellowship. It means that we get to make our own decisions about what happens here, what's important to us, what we support, who we support, and how we do it. The act of giving and receiving is precious, and we value it here. Now is the time in our service when we welcome you to give financially to support our congregation and the world that we want to make. The offering will now be gratefully accepted.
Dear ones, it is that time of year where a lot of folks are headed back to school, which can be filled with a lot of excitement, but it can carry some nerves with it too. A lot of mixed feelings, in fact, for everybody involved. So the fellowship wants to show our support for all of you students and teachers and all of you future students too, by blessing your backpacks or other bags. We've even brought a backpack on the center altar there, the zebra backpack. We've brought that backpack to symbolize the blessings for folks' backpacks that got left home today and for the folks watching on Facebook. We carry these bags with us throughout the week for many reasons. Now, I am going to ask you to bring your backpacks forward when I call that which describes you. You can either bring it forward, send it with a helper to bring it forward, or you can just hold it up. Some of us take books and homework to school. Who's that? Who's that? That's many of you. Yes, please bring your backpack forward. Yes, now is the time. And you don't have to have your backpack. You absolutely don't have to. Some of us bring our lunches to school or work. Please bring those bags forward. Some of us take computers and other supplies to the places where we work. Bring those bags forward. Some people bring things like books or yarn and knitting needles and things like that to where they might need to wait patiently. Please bring those bags. And some people even have special bags for their dogs or other pets. Anybody with those kind of bags to bring forward? Look at all these bags up here. Y'all, are your bags already full of things? Are they already full? Yes? Okay, yes. Do you like what is in your bags? You like it? Not really. No. She said, if your bag, I saw some of you say no. If your bag is not full of things right now, do you think it probably will be at some point? Yes, I think so too. For this blessing, we're going to add something to your bag. But don't worry, it won't add any weight, and it won't take up any space, and your teachers won't get mad if you have it. Now, would y'all like to take a little bit of our congregation's love with you to school so that you can have it not just on Sundays, but through the week? Would that be rockin'? Okay, sweet. Okay, y'all, please get some of the love from wherever you keep your love and out of your pockets, and then let's shape it into a ball. Okay, friends, hold open your bags. Yeah, got your bags? Or hold your hands out if you don't have a bag. That's exactly right. Okay, got your love? Got your love? Okay, we're throwing them in bags. Throw them in your bags. Throw them. Catch the love. Okay, we're catching the love. Catching the love. Yes. Throwing the love at you. Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely. Everybody got a little love? Got a little love? Yes? That was so fun. Let's add something else. Sometimes we get nervous when we go to school or work, and sometimes we wish we felt braver. I know I do. I think it would be nice if we could take some courage from the fellowship with us into this new part of our year. Do you think that would be nice to have a little courage from our friends here at the fellowship? Okay, y'all, gather your courage, would you? Find the courage from wherever you pull your courage from, okay? And we're gonna ball it up. We're giving some courage to these young folks and folks that are going back to do new things. Okay, hold open your bags. Ready for some courage? Hold it up. Ready? Let's do it. Throw it. Yes. Yes. Ooh, I see so much courage. Look at the bravery. Epic. Now, those of you that are going back, what do you wish that you could take from us? Is there something else? What else could we put in your backpacks for you? Tell me. Patience. Yes. Tell me. Wisdom. Attention. You tell me. Okay. Go ahead. Love, absolutely. Let's add a little extra. I know we already put some love in there. Let's just go ahead with some more of that. So patience, we had, okay, what did we say? We had patience, wisdom, perseverance, attention. Okay, curiosity. Okay, wisdom. Woo! It's a lot. Okay, ready? Pull all of that from deep within you, congregation. We're making a big, beautiful ball of goodness to send with these folks. I know I'm off mic, I'm sorry. Hold open your bags. Will it fit? Throw them in there, yeah, give it to you, woo! Y'all are amazing. I hope you know how amazing you are. Okay, now your bag might not look or feel any different right now. But the next time you use it, the next time you open it, I hope you'll remember that we've added our blessings to it for you. Remember that this congregation's love, yes, darling. Calm. Let's do it, friends. Got your calm? Got your calm? Hold open your bags. Got your calm? Let's put some peace in there too. Ready? Go. We are going to pause on this for now, my friends. We have to, I'm so sorry. We are going to move on. But I'm so glad that you are all so willing to share your gifts with these folks. Okay, so now you know that the spirit of this congregation goes with you. And we care about what happens to you at school, at work, and wherever you go. We care about you. You are important to us. And if you need some more love, some more courage, some more wisdom, some more perseverance, some more calm, you've come to the right place. Just ask. Just ask. This congregation is here for you. You may be seated. Yay! Jory, will you offer us this little light of mine? Friends, absolutely, as you are able in body or spirit, please rise and let's sing it loud.
Let's make it happy. Let's take everything with us. All that light, all that love, all that goodness. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it
Okay, it's not gonna work. Gabe and Maddie, will you please come extinguish our chalice?
my part, Millie. Just you wait, still don't take them all. All right. Please join me in extinguishing this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you. So we have some announcements on the screen for your perusal. On Wednesday, UUFF will have a table at the Razor Bash, I think it's called, at the U of A campus. If anybody wants to, Renee is going to run the table. Anybody who wants to help can come. And thank you to everyone who's repping UUFF from 11 to 2 on the 23rd. And every Thursday from 9 to 11, unless it rains, UUFF grounds work is happening. And can you go back one? Oh, look. This is a special slide because we need help for our parking lot rental on Razorback game days. This is a great fundraiser for us. Gene heads it up. He's in the back with a clipboard ready for you to write your name on any of those dates that you would like to volunteer. Super easy, and it's a great way to help our fellowship. Bring your hat. It's going to be hot. And one final announcement on September the 10th is our water communion. Very special UUFF tradition. Everyone brings water from a place that is special to them. It could even be symbolic water from your house because you're thankful that you have potable water in these 100-degree days. But just bring your water. It'll be a big kind of like... Yes, and next week is Choir Sunday. So we got a lot of great Sundays coming up, pulling people in from their summer travels, and I'm looking forward to seeing some faces that we haven't seen. So I think it is time for Melly to close words.
So when we first started talking about this service, one of the first things that I thought of was a book, a collection of short stories that I had to read in school. It was written in 1990 by Tim O'Brien. Those of you who were in school around that age may have had to read it. It's called The Things They Carried. It's about a platoon of American soldiers in Vietnam and the things that they had in their bags with them. Now, many of those things are pretty standard: mosquito nets, guns and ammunition, all of their personal supplies that were given to them, that they're supposed to take. But anytime anyone goes anywhere, they take things with them that they choose. We have Jimmy Cross, who is the lieutenant. He carries love letters from an unrequited love, an interest that has no interest in him. He manages to keep his spirits up by living through false hopes of something that will never happen. He also carries maps, compasses, responsibility for his men's lives. Ted Lavender is nervous and doesn't know how to be there. He carries marijuana and tranquilizers to calm himself, his own way of numbing himself to the reality of what's happening. A religious soldier whose name is Kiowa carries an illustrated New Testament given to him by his father, but somehow he's the only one who's able to rationalize what they're doing there. We have our medic, Rat Kiley, who carries morphine and malaria tablets, supplies for wounds, healing things. Meanwhile, his religious fellow is explaining to them why it's okay to kill. Some of these men survive and some of them don't, but what they carry in their bags is remembered by the other people with them. When we carry things in our bags, in our purses, in our backpacks, in our messenger bags, in our pockets, those things are representations of who we are. And today, our people up here gathered things that were intangible. If you'd like to carry something tangible, at the back today, we have a small container with the stones, just like the ones we have up here. You're welcome to take one, put it in your backpack or in your pocket, in your purse. May one of those things you carry with you be a thing that helps you remember who we are, what you have inside you. What people give you and make you carry does not have to be the only things you carry. Renee. Oh, it's a banned book, so read banned books, y'all.
Dear ones, thank you so much for being with us today for the blessing of the backpacks. I want the children and youth of UUFF to know that they carry the love and courage of this congregation with them wherever you go. Of course, I want this for our adults too, and I believe it's especially important for our kids. Second, I want the adults of this congregation to know how important your support is for our young people. It is crucial. When we are frightened, when we are trying new things, when we are taking bold steps into the unknown, our collective power to bless and embolden, to share love and courage and wisdom and perseverance and hope and joy and determination and friendship, it's nothing to sneeze at. In fact, it can be nothing short of life-giving and life-saving. We mustn't forget that. We are powerful, and what we do here is important. The legislation that Stephanie spoke of earlier in the service is something that we want to keep our finger on the pulse of. It reeks of fascism, and it's people like us that stand up and say, no, 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 not our kids. Nope, no. It's people like us that go to bat for our children and youth when we see wrong occurring. Thank you. Thank you for the care that you give to our children and youth of UUFF. And thank you for the care that you give to our collective children of our community and of, dare I say it, our world. Go in peace. Namaste.
Hey, y'all, who was raised in public schools in the 70s and 80s? I got a sing-along for you. Please sing along with me. I rewrote the third verse to fit the times. There's a land that I see where the children are free, and I say it ain't far from this land from where we are. Take my hand, come with me where the children are free. Come with me, take my hand, and we'll live in a land where the river runs free, in a land through the green country, in a land through a shining sea, and you and me are free to be, you and me. I see a land bright and clear, and the time's coming near when we'll live in this land, you and me, hand in hand. Take my hand, come along, lend your voice to this song. Come along, take my hand, sing a song for a land free to go and learn and love and be safe and have coffee. You and me. You and me. Ba, 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 you and me. You and me. You and me. You and me. Ba, 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 ba. You and me. Free to be. You and me. Free to be. You and me. Have your coffee, have your tea. You and me, free to be. Have some coffee, have some tea.